Shalom, brothers. Welcome to another short lesson. As you can see back here, this is the Hebrew Torah, and what I'm going to do today is I want to go through here and show you the difference between a regular letter and a final letter. Like, before I start there, see, you got here, these are the regular letters in the Aramaic, Assyrian Hebrew, which is that's what we have, the Torah is written in. And as you read through here, you see, like I told you, brothers, before, I left certain ones of these letters empty without putting a pronunciation underneath it. The reason for that is because this ka here, this is a regular ka. When the word starts with a ka, or the word is somewhere in the middle, or the ka is somewhere in the middle, you use this ka here. But then when the when the word ends in a ka, you use the final ant ka, which is this ka here. Same thing with the ma. This is the regular ma, the final ma, the regular na, the final na, the regular pa, the final pa, and the regular tazah, and the final tazah. So I'm going to show you here in the Torah. When you're reading through the Torah, you'll see, like, this is, I put the letter ka here, right? This is a regular ka, right? So you would use this ka here whenever a word begins with that letter ka, or when it's in the middle of the actual word. But now when the word ends in a ka, this is the ka that you would use. Alright, now I'm going to give you an example of that. Here you have the word marakab, right? Now the word marakab means chariot. Okay, now you notice here there's a ka here, but this ka is not at the end. It's within the middle of the word, or sometimes it might be at the beginning. So the word marakab, you would use this regular ka to spell this word out. Okay, marakab, which means chariot. But now, let's say for instance you wanted to use the ka at the end of a word. You have the word here malak, which means king, and you notice that the ka is at the end of the word, so you use this ka here. Alright, that's the final ka. You have the regular ka, which is within the word, either in the beginning or in the middle, and then you have the final ka, as in the word malak. You use this ka at the end of a word. Alright, now I'll pull this back up again, the Hebrew alphabet. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, this here. And the reason why I always keep referring back to the Torah, is because when you brothers read, this is what you're going to be reading. So it's good to get familiar with some of these words. Alright, the next Hebrew letter that has two types of letters is the ma. Now this is the regular ma, which would be at the beginning or in the middle of a word, and this is the final ma, which would be at the end of a word. Now I'll give you an example of that. Right here you have the word shemayim. Now what's good about this word shemayim, which means heaven, or that which pertains to the waters, what's good about this word is it has both ma's in it. This is the regular ma, okay, and if it was at the beginning of a word, you would also use this word, or this letter. And then you have the final ma. So within this word shemayim, you have two ma's, one regular and one final. Okay, so whenever the word would end in a ma, you would use this ma, but whenever the word somewhere from the beginning through the middle of the word, you would use this ma. Alright, so that's the word shemayim. Alright, which means heavens. Alright, now I'm going to bring this back up. Now the next one is the na, which I'm going to get down here. This is the regular na, and that's the final na. Alright, regular, final. I'll bring this back up here. You have the word napash. Now the word napash means soul. Alright, and notice the na is at the beginning of the word, so you would use the regular na. Alright, but now in the case of shalkhan, which the word shalkhan means table, right, you have the final na. Alright, notice back here you had the na at the beginning of the word, so that's why you would use this regular one. Same way if it was in the middle. If it was in the middle, you would also use the same na, which is the regular na. But now when the na is at the end of a word, you would use this na, the final na. Alright, so once again, that's shalkhan, which is table. Alright, now going back here, the next word that we got is a pa. That's the regular pa, and that's the final pa. Alright, now I'll give you an example of that. This is the word paña, which the word paña means face. The pa is at the beginning, so you would use this regular pa. Even if the pa was in the middle, you would use the same pa. But now when the pa is at the end, you would use this. That's the pa, the final pa. Alap. Now the word alap means 1,000, or it means cattle. Alright? The word alap. So that's the final pa that's used at the end of a word, and that's the regular pa that's used either at the beginning or in the middle of a word. Okay? Now, I want to show you the last one is taza. That's the regular taza, and that's the final taza. And I'll give you an example of that. What you have here is the word tazadak. Now the word tazadak means righteous. Now the taza is at the beginning of the word. That's why you would use this regular taza. Same way if it was in the middle, you use the same taza. But now when the taza is at the end of a word, like in the word arataza, which means earth, you will use the final taza. Alright? Taza at the beginning for tazadak, righteous. Taza for the end, like in the word arataza, which means earth. Alright? So that's the difference. You know, there's 5 letters in the Hebrew and the Assyrian or the Aramaic which use which uses 2 different letters. One for the beginning of a word or the middle of a word, and one for the end of the word. Alright? So, you know, that pretty much concludes the lesson. And like I said, you know, you got the ka here, you know, you got the finals, you know. And that pretty much concludes the lesson. And you know, I'm trying to get you brothers a little bit more familiar with the Torah. I'm gonna start going into some breakdowns, Lord's will, you know. Have a couple ideas to show you brothers how to learn the Hebrew a little bit easier. And you know, with that, pretty much, you know, I hope you brothers learn something. And to the next time, I say shalom.